Alrighty. Hello everybody. This is Kirisho here, and now, before I do begin, let me go ahead and give a brief little review. In the last part, we had a number of events going on. Now, Deku, Marcy, and Chloe, they were at the fort where Deku and Marcy were trying to entertain Caesar when he wanted to speak with Deku. He was quite intrigued to learn about the rumors of the Deathclaw Man. At first, he thought it was people chasing chems and seeing hallucinations. However, after the Scorch Beast, he wouldn't really rule everything out. I mean, the Scorch Beast was a monster, and what his people have found of records from the old world, and even this world, it once existed in a place known as Appalachia, somewhere far, far in the east. However, there was Deku. One day he popped up in Westside where his people were investigating rumors, and they saw it for themselves. He was a topic Caesar wanted to witness in person. And whenever he finally did, Deku, he was annoyed talking to the man. He believes Kaisar to be a hypocrite. He asked him about the Enclave, and he did seem disinterested in them. However, he believes Kaisar is only interested in their mutation experiments. As for the army of robots under the fort, he wants them destroyed. They don't fall into the tenets he set for the Legion, so no one should have access to that technology. He believes Rome was the pinnacle, and rebuilding it is the way the world should go moving forwards. The over-reliance on technology is what killed this world once, and it will do it again. Deku, however, was annoyed. They tried to play a game with the man, throwing out things they knew about the ancient city and making some others up. However, they were on the right track when they called Caesar a hypocrite. By the end of this conversation and lunch, Deku challenged some legionaries to a battle. And then he killed them, brutally and swiftly. While Chloe, she had enough time to finally start things off. And they flew off out of the fort and into the sky. Now, with that being said, let us begin. We'll start whenever everyone does get back to Vegas. They do head to the presidential suite of the Lucky 38. Right now, them bathing, showering, and going to be put into some fresh clothes. They do enjoy a nice proper dinner later that evening. While they are going over a lot of information. Right now, Deku, he does sit on the floor with a lot of plans going through his head. Him digging into his steak as he does have quite a bit of other food around with him. And right now, you do have Victor. Victor does sit out there in the hallway. Meanwhile, plans and even ideas have been getting floated around. Right now, Marcy, she does lean against the back wall on the bed. Her with a plate in her lap as she does get a turn to a paper that does have a draft written on it about a plan, along with even some designs for another radio beacon. It's a plan that they're having. And there is actually Chloe. Chloe does sit there at the edge of the bed with a bottle of scotch in her lap. Her taking swigs from it and even tossing out other ideas she's been having. Her attitude has been loose. It's been joyful. And her and Marcy have been passing the bottle back and forth. The two someone talking about a few things is Deku. He does have a lot going through his own mind. If they're going to attack the Enclave in 7 days, when they do get close enough, if they activate the radio beacon, they may be able to chat with their vault. I mean, he made one that can work from Black Mountain, but they had a sizable frequency they could go from. He smashed the control panel back then, and fixing it would take a lot longer than he would like to admit. Then again, if he does broadcast from the Lucky 38, it may work. They're a higher point in Vegas. The mountain might be in between Camp Searchlight and them. But by God, are they on one hell of a signal amplifier? And this thought has passed Deku's mind. Him getting done with dinner as everyone, they do go to relax, letting this tension bleed from them. And whenever Deku does get to watch them go to sit there somewhat talking to each other, he does dismiss himself, talking about how he's going to head to the cocktail lounge and set up a bit of a place for them to work on. Tomorrow, he's going to go out and see if he can find the parts. Hopefully he can. And he'll ask Mr. House about it tonight. If he can find a buyer, then he'll pay money. If he needs to, he'll even head back towards Nellis and get some extra gear to sell. Right now, though, this would be a good idea. And the two do get a nod. Him going to leave the room and head into the elevator. And whenever he does it to walk out, he does it to find himself in front of Mr. House's computer. It activating as he does begin to express. He is very thankful about what they've done. The Mark II iOS has been something he's been working on for quite a long time, and finally getting back his property has certainly eased the burden his mind has been feeling. With the Mark II iOS, he can do what he's wanted to do with the Securitrons for quite a bit of time. Not be as lenient and protect his territory. The NCR, and even the Enclave, will have trouble invading Vegas if they do test and push their limits. And Deku does nod his head, expressing he gets it. However, he was hoping to ask a bit of a favor. You've given me something I've been trying to do for 200 years in a day. You may ask me of a favor, but even then, I would be careful. Asking me for something small seems like quite a bit of a waste. You've done me a great service, and I do not believe that there is enough I could do to be grateful. However, I will have my limits, depending on your ask. Well, with everything going on with my vaults, I'm wondering if whenever everything is settled, we can bring people to be diplomats, talk with you more in a better capacity. That certainly is quite possible, but I do believe that request would already be done. We were simply saving it for later. That does make sense. However, that does then bring me to my next request. Making sure that people know. I need to get a signal out and broadcast. And I'm well aware that may be far harder than it should be. Not quite. What? Not quite, no. I've been sending broadcasts out from this terminal. There was one out in the fort. But with some proper recalibrations, I can send out a signal to anywhere. as long as there is a receiver. You can't be serious. Are you? I mean, that's incredible. Yes. However, I would just have to recalibrate my antenna and know the proper frequency as to which I am to go to. yes, I can give you the codes. I expected it to I expected it to take a lot longer. Be more. The last time we did this, it was harder. You're speaking to a man who prepared Vegas for the end of the world. If it did not have different fail safes nor contingency plans, well, I would not be here. I would not still be alive. I didn't factor the end of the world coming sooner than it did, but I should have. And that was one of the mistakes in life I made. I meant to ask about that. In life, the way you put it. Yes, it is a manner of phrasing. I am still alive. However, not in a way that makes sense to you. I see. Yes. Moving past that. Enter the coordinates into the terminal and bring me the signal. Give me access to it and I can recalibrate my gear. That should take me a few hours, and then you should be able to send out broadcasts from this terminal. I see. Thank you. You have no idea what that means to me. Yes, well, I am keeping my end of the deal. You have fulfilled your end, and I am nothing but an honest businessman whenever it does come to these certain matters. Deku nodding, him snapping a salute, and then going to leave. Right now, him going to freeze and going to somewhat laugh out loud after he did that. And he does it to run off. Right now, him going to turn back. As he does it to ask if you just give them to, yes, you can give them to Victor. I can quite simply take them from him. Oh, I assumed your assistant was. Never mind, I'll be going now. Him rushing off. And whenever he does come running back into the room, he does it to tell the two about it. And right now it's incredible. They do to give the details to Victor. And after about a few minutes, they are told about it. It should take about 6 hours for everything to be recalibrated. And to make sure that things are put in a proper order. And right now they do get to play the waiting game. Deku, he does stay up late. He heads to the cocktail lounge and he sits by a window, looking out into the old world, the remnants of Vegas. What should he even say to the people there, back in the vault? Hey, he knows it's been a while, but he didn't die in wherever that blast was up there. Whatever shook the ground the way it did. The last time he talked to his father, there was so much he wanted to say. Even now, there's so much he wants to say. He's made a life for himself. He's had to put a lot of that training in. He's had to. Fuck. Right now, Deku having tears begin to stream down his face. Everything they've done to survive. It might finally be worth it. They're going to give this broadcast to their people and let them know about what's going on. Let them know in a few days they'll be back home. They'll be there fighting. If everything does work out, then they can be a distraction. And when the vault door opens, their people can fight. And that's something? No, it has to be something that works. If it doesn't, a lot of people are going to die. The Sierra Madre. No, it didn't. He didn't leave his heart there. He still has his heart. It might be wounded, but it's still beating. Damn it, he's still alive. Just pull yourself together, man. For them. He has to just keep going for them. He can't break. Not now. Not ever. He didn't break during then. He can't break now. But yeah, he can deal with that later. I'll just deal with that later. Him eventually slumping backwards into his chair, staring out at Vegas before someone does go to wake him up. And whenever he does this one jump up out of his chair as Chloe does go to pull back. Right now, him going to stand rather quickly. And she does him she does going to give him a big fat grin that tells him everything. Them heading back to the penthouse and going to walk into the room. And Mr. House does express. Now, this will be a secure line. He's done quite a bit, and, well, the broadcast should be secure. If it is, however, traced, they will know it came to Vegas. And then it will bounce off of some other radio signals. It took him rather longer than he would like to admit, but now it is done. Just step forwards and insert their Pip-Boy's data cord into the terminal. Deku stepping forwards. And whenever he does go to pull this off of the back of his Pip-Boy, he does go to think. Him plugging it in as he does go to hold up his Pip-Boy. And he does see that the microphone just became active. Him looking up as Mr. House, he does express. They're currently broadcasting. This is Izuku Midoriya, broadcasting on all Vault channels. Is anyone... Hello? Hello. Are you there? Can you hear me? You're being read. Izuku Midoriya? You're still alive? Up there? Yes, I'm here. I copy. You're coming in loud and clear. Hi. It's been a while. Please, hold on a second. Someone's grabbing your father. How are you broadcasting to us? We thought you died whenever the world shook. No, that was something else that happened up here. We weren't involved in that. However, we have an urgent matter we need to discuss with the overseers. Yes, sir, of course. I mean, we think you're practically a legend down here. How many people know? Know about what exactly? Sure. How many people know about this broadcast? Your father, your mother, the overseers, and your other team members? What is their current status? This is Chloe Mendez, my status is still alive and well and functioning properly, if a little low on alcohol. Then again, I'm sure we all are looking for a reason to celebrate. This is Dr. Marcy Winters, alive and well. And I have numerous reports that do need to be given directly to the overseers. The man turning his head and going to express, right now, stand by. And people inside that room, the moment they heard a sound, they ran back to their terminals. It was a boring job already. Every couple of hours, try and see about if there's a signal on some sort of station, or listen to the radio. I mean, hell, this used to be punishment duty. And nowadays, it's an actual operation. It's very important. And the moment someone came bursting into the room, Mr. Midoriya, he was staying there, in a meeting with one of his officers about his disorderly conduct when he went to go turn a glare directly onto the man. But looking at the man's frantic and panicked state, he blurted it out. He needs to come to the communication network room right now. They just received another transmission. Clearer than the last one. And he does it a freeze. Right now, him going to jump up and ignore the coffee he just spilled onto his pants. The mug going to roll across his desk as he does it a rush out, turning to the man and telling him not to say a word about this. Before the man, he does a freeze as well hearing those words. It taking him a minute to realize a broadcast from the surface just came through. And he himself just says stare on as he did a rush out. And the overseers, they were going about their own various tasks before they came rushing over to the communication room when someone came to get them. And right now, there is a voice that does want to come through. Hello? Hello? Izuku? Come on, boy. Please tell me that's you there. Hi, Dad. Hey, boy. It's good to hear from you, son. It's good to hear from you. How's everything been up there? You know, we've definitely had better days. It sounds like it. Are you, alive up there? Safe? We're at a safe location right now, Dad. I'm currently broadcasting this from the Lucky 38 casino, so top of the world. Deku hearing some laughs in the background. And he does go to express. Can everyone hear him, or is he wearing some sort of headset? Is everyone in the room, including the overseers? Yes, we're currently in the room. You are being broadcasted to us in clear definition. How exactly has your expedition been going? We have not heard an update from you in quite a long time. And we have been concerned about our problems with the Enclave. I'm assuming if you are broadcasting to us, then you've done something? Yes, sir. We've done something. It's gonna be a bit hard to explain, but let's start with a bit of the basics to understand this. As our vault history says, the day the world trembled, the surface wall was destroyed. That's not exactly true. A man named Mr. House, he protected Vegas with a missile defense system. The Mojave was not hit by a direct nuclear strike when the bombs fell. The world up here survived, and that is a good thing. I'm currently in Lucky 38, as I said before, and the city's alive. Is it now? Tell me, is it how they said before the wars? It's more beautiful than that. I'm gonna say this. The view from the cocktail lounge is something else. But that's not why we're contacting you now. We've made a deal with Mr. House. And while I'm speaking on that deal currently right now, I've also made a number of other deals with people in the Mojave, promising them certain resources of our vaults. Before you do say anything on that, some of these deals are highly beneficial to us. The Followers of the Apocalypse are a medical organization, and the Van Graffs are people I believe can give us a foothold in the Mojave over weapons manufacturing. Now, back to Mr. House. Mr. House, he built a place to manufacture Securitrons. They're military-grade robots currently running on Mark 1 iOS. And we just uploaded the Mark 2 iOS to their facility. In 6 days from now, we're going to be launching an attack on Camp Searchlight's airport. Airport? Yes. Overseer. That's where you guys are located. Under a airport. And that is where the vault is, and where the Enclave are currently stationed. I see. 6 days. Yes, sir. That is correct. A number of things are going to happen that day. We've made allies with the descendants of other vault dwellers. The line going dead, and the man does go to sit there alarmed. Sir, before you do ask other further questions, the descendants of that vault are at Nellis Air Force Base. And yes, while they are typically, they have a structure similar to ours. They're tribalistic, but not in the way you're thinking. Meanwhile, there is the fact that another report to give you currently. We've been to most of the vaults, if not all of the vaults in Vegas. We've heard a report on another vault, and we haven't found it yet, but there are no more active vaults in Vegas. It is highly concerning to us, but I believe we've told you about what the Enclave have done to us. Yes, you've mentioned that they captured us and experimented on us, correct? You mentioned the surface was not safe. And we've had our own conclusions as to what that does mean. Yes, Overseer, sir. There are mutants up here. And they are injected with a strain of FEV. We were experimented on, sir. You were? Yes, sir. We were. We were also tortured, sir. Right now the man going silent. And in that room, Hasashi, he does get to feel his blood run cold. Him turning to his wife and staring at her face. She does currently sit there in her lab coat. And the look on her face does show abject horror. Her baby boy was tortured. And one of the other overseers do get to step forwards. Them asking, can they confirm numbers for the Enclave troops? No, we cannot. However, sir, they are using an unknown variation of power armor. I don't remember much about my encounter with them, but me and John were able to take out a man in a power armor suit. He had a powerful electromagnetic weapon. Marcy and Chloe can remember the details a lot better than I can. The experimentation left me fuzzy at the time. I see. That is certainly something. Overseer, Marcy's stepping in, and she can hear a gasp in the background when her voices go through that microphone. Right now, her expressing. Currently, right now, they have a number of things coming their way. The vault needs to be prepared for this to happen. In several days, there are going to be robots that come down on that location with missile launchers and Gatling lasers, along with people they've allied themselves with who will be dropping bombs on their location. If everything does go the way they do intend, their attack will be at full force. And they are trying to warn them of this. Whatever goes on that day, if they do open their doors, to be prepared. The Enclave, they are evil people. They need to be eradicated. Every last one of them. Marcy. Her going to try and not gasp. However, Deku can see the twitch on her face when she doesn't hear her mother speak, followed by a man Deku he does recognize. Marcy, is that you? Yes, it is, Dad. Hi. It's good to hear from you, too. It is now a bad time to cut in. Chloe going to step forwards. And Deku, he does hear the same thing from another group of people. Right now, all of them beginning to try and get through the formalities quickly. As Deku, he does turn to Marcy again, as she does express. There are many things she's learned from her medical training, but there are many things up here that do defy that knowledge. And she does mean that. Her reports on the surface are conflicting in their matters. However, the Enclave needs to be eradicated. No mercy at all. If they do not fulfill this goal, they may harm more people with FEV. And they may even try to destroy the Mojave again. They've heard conflicting reports about information about the organization all over the Mojave. Not just that, but from all over the wasteland. They're monsters wearing human skin that need to die. After what they've done to them and their people, there is nothing left for them except death. That is the cold hard truth, and she will stand by that in her report, sir. Right now, them going to have a pause. Before Deku does it turn to Chloe, who does it shake her head no. And he does it express. That is correct, as Marcy did say. Other than their mutated status, they are currently in well physical condition. But the day of the attack, whenever it does go down, they are expecting much to happen. I do understand. We can begin preparations and begin much more work on the frames of power armor we have. We currently already do have 10 suits already prepared and ready for testing. We can roll them out as full combat units. You said several days, correct? Yes, I did. By the time the attack does go down, we're expecting a lot of chaos to go down. You need explosives. The moment you step outside that door, it's a false desert. If you can, you need to jury-rig plasma explosives from fusion cells. You need scrap electronics, duct tape, and you have to make sure you don't crack the housing or it can be bad. You just need something to do the same thing that the connection unit would do on an energy weapon. Once that's done, just get ready to set off all that energy. Those people, I don't know what else to say to you, sir. But we need to be thorough on this. Once that happens, I have to deal with John. John. Yes, sir. During our escape, John was left behind. Connor was killed, and Tommy ran into the desert. I ran as well, but I don't remember much of that. I was not in the right mind. Neither was Tommy, and John was left behind to the Enclave. We believe he's under some sort of mental brainwashing, and he has become the enemy. Other than that, we have no more to report on. There is life up here. Good life, but a lot of bad. That does give the end of my report, sir. Yes, I'm well aware of this. This is quite a bit of information to digest, young man. We will begin preparations for war. I am sure the Vault is going to be conflicted once they hear of this broadcast, but we will inform them. You said that you were all mutated. How badly is it? Are you still human? I would like to believe so, sir. I still got 2 hands, 2 legs, a heart and a brain, like God has given me, sir. I see. We're all just a little more. But we are trying our best for the mission. Understood, young man. You have done a brave service to your Vault and to your country. Right now, we are going to be handing things back over to your families for personal time. For personal chat. We do have much to begin to rally. I will leave you to that. I do understand. Right now, Deku unconnecting his Pip-Boy. As Marcy, she does going to be gestured forward, and she doesn't have her eyes go wide. Right now, him watching as she does connect her own and begin to speak. Her going to hear her parents shuffle in as Deku, he does it to tell her. Let his know right now he's got a lot to work on too, on their side. And she does nod her head, asking if they heard that, to which someone does get to verify. And right now Izuku does get to head downstairs. Him trying to hide the rage he does still feel. Hide this burning sensation in his chest that is screaming for attention. This part of him that hurts. And right now, he pushes it down. He'll let it out against the Enclave. He'll let it out against John. And Deku, he does hear someone ask about Tommy. To which he does hear Marcy freeze before she has to report about him being killed in action. And right now, he has to step out of the room. As there currently is back in the vault, the overseers have gathered everyone together to discuss something. All operations were brought to a halt, and that does say quite a bit. Routine training, shop maintenance, cleaning, crop growth, the water purification, and the power systems. All of them can be run almost automatically. They just need maintenance and care to make sure they are fine. And right now he does gather multiple people here, some even listening from their places in the vault on the vault broadcasting station, as the overseer does begin to talk about the broadcast from the surface they've gotten. And some people do begin to emit in the uproar, as the man does inform all of them. This broadcast is special for one very important reason. The candidates they have selected for last year's surface emergence, their expedition, they are not the ones who broadcasted to them. The overseers have been looking into this delicate matter for quite some time, but now it is going to be brought all out into the open because of the ramifications it does ultimately bring. The expedition team from 2 years ago contacted them, and people do to wait. Right now, you could hear a butterfly fart, and he does go look around the room. Many people are alarmed by it. 2 years on the surface? Some people in the past didn't even make it a year, but you're talking about these people making it double that? I mean, the surface is inhospitable. Storms that fly so fast they can cut you to shreds, like your tissue paper. Mutant armies that run rampant. I mean, hell, radiation so powerful it should melt the fucking skin from your bones. Monsters they can't understand? Shit. But what's going on up there? Izuka Midoriya, Marcy Winters, Chloe Mendez, these are the 3 remaining survivors of the expedition team. Currently, we do have information on one member of the team who is currently not allied with them. This information is going to be hard for some of you to hear. It certainly was hard for the overseers to digest, and I'm quite certain it will be for many of you as well. As well as many of you in the public sector. And all of you whose families, including my own, who have made the brave sacrifice of going to the surface. The Enclave is a pre-war military organization who they have trapped our entrance door. They are currently the opposition we are going to be facing. Along with this, they've captured every one of our people who have stepped out of that door and experimented on them. People begin to erupt into muttering. The man bringing his hand up to silence them. In conjunction with all of this information, they are also the ones who built our vaults. They're the ones who sheltered our ancestors. People begin to somewhat stop talking and just go to stare on at the overseer as he does go to express. This is true. It has been a highly classified piece of information, but they were aware of the organization who built their vaults. And some of this information, it has been kept secret for quite a number of years. However, there is going to be one thing that is shared today that has not been shared between many overseers. Him turning and going to look at the others and bow his head. And the others do somewhat going to stare on at him as he does a fully stand up, turning and expressing. Well over a century and a half ago, the Vault AI was reprogrammed. The second primary overseer in his position, the one selected after the original, He was made aware of the Enclave. After he was made aware of it and the original overseer passed, the one in his position was horrified at the information he learned. He was told it was for the betterment of mankind, but that was a lie. They are well aware of this now. Right now, he wants them all to know. He took actions into his own hands and reprogrammed their vault's AI. Yes, it was meant to do many things. However, he turned it away from the Enclave's main goal, which was to brainwash and make sure they were all servant to them. It would use subliminal messages to ensure they were loyal. However, after he undid everything, he left a message to the next overseer in his position, and that has been tradition. He did not know what the Enclave was until months ago, but he is horrified to discover what it is now. He is, however, honored by the overseer who changed the AI and ensured freedom today. Right now, him going to snap a salute and go to turn, yelling out about how the Enclave wants them dead. They want them as rats. They want them as some sort of experiments. However, they are not going to yield to this foreign enemy. They are not going to yield to these people who are monsters. And he wants them all to be made aware. He is enacting surface world parameters, surface world routines. And he is going to establish wartime parameters as well. Right now, he wants full force operations. Whenever it does come to the machine shop, he wants weapon manufacturing pushed up as well as anyone with the represent skills to report to their stations. They are going to fight a war, and then they will walk under the sun. Right now, people roaring out and jumping up. As the overseer, he does going to keep his head raised, however, turn to the others. Well aware that hiding this fact, this dark secret, was his own to hide. They weren't made aware. One of them had to be. If they don't trust him, he is fully ready to resign from his position. But hopefully it does not come to that. Hopefully they are able to survive this encounter and bring their troops home. But he does have concerns about these experiments they may have undergone. The doctor described them a bit more about what they did. And it's hard to understand. It sounds like something from the Unstoppables comics. Now, with that being said, I do hope you guys enjoyed and have an amazing day. I'll catch you guys in the next part.